This episode, we've got a guest host, and it's Nikki Hammer. Nikki is an associate at the Boulder Innovation Center in Colorado. As a project manager with 15 years of experience, she helps coordinate multidisciplinary WSP project teams to implement smart building solutions. Nikki is a professional engineer and a lead AP. And as part of her work at the Innovation Center, Nikki provides the opportunity for her clients to experiment with smart buildings technology and evaluate real-time data for their benefit.
Most stadiums get built once, but then they get renovated over and over and over again. And so the stronger that we can develop that relationship with the client, the end client, either the team or the league or the facility owner, I think it benefits us.
You're listening to Smart Thinking, a podcast by WSP. I'm Nikki Hammer in Boulder, Colorado, taking you on a journey into smart buildings. In this podcast, we're talking about smart sports venues. Joining me in the Boulder studio is WSP's sports sector lead for the U.S., Jay Ratton. Jay's recent sports experiences include two 70,000-seat NFL football stadiums, Major League Baseball spring training facilities, and he has conducted league-wide fan experience evaluations for Major League Soccer facilities. He has won numerous lighting design awards for his sports projects, and he specializes in adding value to sports projects in the context of fan experience by implementing smart building solutions. Jay is reshaping the way WSP pursues sports projects by focusing on the business value that WSP's service provide. Welcome, Jay. First question for you. How do sports venues compete with television to attract people to the venue and create a better experience? Why actually attend a game in person when a fan may be able to see and hear better at home?
Thanks, Nikki. And one of the biggest challenges we see in sports today is why go to the game, right? The TV coverage is great. And so as we're designing stadiums, what we're trying to find out is how can we design them differently to make people go to games? One of the challenges that we see in the opportunities for WSP is in thinking through the way we enable nicer fan experience, not just from when they get to the game, but when they leave their house. So the fan doesn't see the game as starting once they come through security, but how hard was it to get there in terms of traffic? Where can they park? How long should they plan to get through security? All the sort of little things that make it difficult to go to a game. What can we do in our sort of holistic WSP vision to make those go away? And then how do we make it easier for the fans to then, once they're in the facility, either connect better to their team? Maybe they would like to buy something and we want to help them find where the things are that they might be interested in. It might be as simple as helping them get throughout the facility. I think everybody can relate to coming into a gate and realizing you're on the absolute wrong side from where your seat is, and how do you get there, and how do you meet up with your friends. So we're seeing a real investment in facilities in presenting that kind of information to users, either through a mobile device or through different technologies that would enable that.
I see. It sounds like a true power of one solution offering for WSP. How is WSP using SMART to reframe our pitch around sports?
Well, Power of One is a great segue. Traditionally, WSP may have come to a sports project with our, I'll call them siloed solutions. Maybe we were going to do traffic management outside or parking management, or maybe we were going to do mechanical or electrical and plumbing services design. Those are all great aspects of the expertise we can bring to a stadium. But when we're going after them today, I think we think Power of One. WSP's scope, our vision, isn't within those silos. It's in that larger aspect of aligning. So we need to realign our pitch to align with their expectation. We've seen themes emerge. We talked a little bit about fan experience, and that doesn't fall in technology specifically. It covers how we might design the mechanical system. It covers our security aspects. The same thing happens when you talk about sustainability. Stadiums these days and sports brands these days have to walk the walk. And so the role that a sports venue plays in the city, and let's call it its role modelship in setting the bar high for sustainability, means that we need to think about how all our systems combine together to lead up to that. Whether it's gray water capture, from runoff on the roof, which covers a number of things that we might look at, and then how do we use that, and how does the team then evangelize that? Mercedes-Benz Stadium, which is one of the recent big projects in the U.S., got LEED Platinum. First LEED Platinum stadium in North America, and it was a big lift across the board, not just from WSP, but all the design team to achieve that.
I see. And you and I were talking earlier about how the Denver Broncos Stadium hosts over 300 events a year, 6 of which are NFL football games. So it seems to me that there's a huge opportunity for sports venues to act very differently in much different contexts than they traditionally would.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. Somebody told me the other day that the venues these days, we need to sweat them a lot more in order to get the money out of them as an asset. So it's in the planning phase of most of the sports projects we've seen recently is the design that it will operate almost every day and generally in a partial load. So instead of having 70,000 seats filled, you might only have, a corporate event on the second concourse. And how do we anticipate that partial load operation from facility management perspective and from a user perspective? If I walk into the stadium and all the concourse lights are off and the air conditioning is off and it's empty, it's a very different experience for me as maybe I'm just going to have a meeting in one of the suites or something like that. How do we then enable that partial load to be just as impactful as the full sold out stadium experience might be?
Interesting. Seems there's a great opportunity there. You were talking earlier about the fan experience. I'm wondering what WSP is doing to kind of differentiate themselves as a firm in terms of how we pursue and pitch that fan experience. Are there different sorts of players that we're engaging with in the marketplace?
Yeah, there is. I mean, I think a couple things that I see us doing differently around Smart. One is the pitch. We're really refining how we go to talk to clients about Smart, if I can call it that, and figuring out we're not there selling a menu of services. We're selling that. We've talked about fan experience a bunch, but we come back to that. We're selling the holistic experience. The fans don't know or care how the air conditioning got there. They just care that it's the right temperature, right? And so when we talk about fan experience, we have all these enabling expertises, but we need to roll it up into this larger deliverable. And it means that generally we're pitching multiple services that aren't necessarily aligned around our traditional business lines, but around the project itself. What does the project need? What does the client need? And how do we build a team around that? And when we look at teams, our traditional go-to-market was through architects. So we would hope the architect would win the project. They'd send us a request for proposal. We might get on their team. A couple of themes I'm seeing now is that owners of sports venues are looking to other expertise. One of our big clients, HOK, did a big engagement with Visa, the credit card company, to look at how payment applications can affect the fan experience, that journey. We're seeing a strong driver to bring in partners who understand, digital differently, they understand brand differently, and how do the things that we do affect the way the brand of that team or that stadium looks. So we're partnering not necessarily with architects, but with those kinds of players. And then lastly, I think the big pitch for WSP is in having a stronger relationship with our end client, the facility owners. We definitely see a change in the way we talk to end users, knowing that most stadiums get built once, but then they get renovated over and over and over again. And so the stronger that we can develop that relationship with the client, the end client, either the team or the league or the facility owner, I think it benefits us.
How do you think our sports clients see Smart?
That is a challenging question. I run into this when I go to pitch. A lot of our clients see Smart in two ways. They either see it as a way to save energy, or they see it as a series of tech gadgets. Partially that's because that's the way the market has presented it. They're used to people coming, you talk about a smart home or something of that nature, you're often thinking about energy efficiency, right? If I buy a smart refrigerator, it's somehow aligning its cooling with however much soda I have in the fridge that day. And then our vendor competition, and they are competitors here in Smart, have been out there pitching widgets and gadgets that they can strap onto their stadiums to make them smart. The way we need to realign ourselves when we talk about smart stadiums is it's not a gadget, it's not about saving energy, it's a design philosophy. We're trying to get in early at the master plan level and say, what do you want as an end user? How are you going to operate the facility? What best benefits your business and best benefits the fans? And develop a design that supports those goals and executes those goals. And we're going to have energy saving as part of that because it makes sense. And we're going to have a couple of widgets or applications that are applied that are fan facing, but those aren't the drivers around Smart.
Interesting. So SMART truly improves the fan experience, enables better facility operation, and improves the overall quality of the venue.
Absolutely.
A big thank you to Jay. We can really see a potential for SMART services to change the stadium experience. Join us for our next episode with Gerald Todd from the Middle East, where we discover how WSP Middle East is striving for SMART success.
If something in this episode has piqued your interest, then have a chat with us. Email smart@wsp.com.
You've been listening to Smart Thinking, a podcast by WSP. I'm Nikki Hammer. Thank you for listening.